to Thursday. I'm going to go turn on my light. So welcome. If you see me walking away, we are going to do the empty chair episode of Good Dunning. I'm just turn on my light. I tried to turn on as late as possible, as it is a giant blue LED light blowing in my face, and not the biggest fan of blue light. So welcome, Good Dunning. Sasquatch come out of hiding to say hello as well. Yo, Big Dad, Good Dunning. We are grateful for you. Millie, Good Dunning as well. And Shelly, Good Dunning. Shelly and Neil. I think that's still awesome. Shelly and Neil, a couple. You leave hope that somebody can find somebody that you can share your YouTube with, right? Because a lot of us, even whenever we didn't share our YouTube, right? Now you guys share your YouTube, and that makes a lot of difference. I guarantee your ascensions, both of you, Shelly and Neil, Seeker of Truth, and Big Dad there, standing tall, will go so much more smoothly because you guys are on the same page, right? You're sharing YouTube. Phenomenal. Nathan, Good Dunning there, and I hope you are doing well there from the reading the other day. Chloe had an amazing birthday yesterday. If you did not, let's happy birthday, Chloe. Happy birthday, Chloe. Thank you for your crystals and your awesomeness. We love you, Chloe. There we go. All right. Impromptu Chloe happy birthday song. That was yesterday, but she was having foods with her mom. So, and I will get your monies out to you. I still have to pay for my crystals. But speaking of crystals, today we're going to work with Chloe's crystals. The labradorite wand that I got here from Chloe's crystals. You can see the Flash Gordon on it, right? Flash. There we go. All right, so we have Flash on the labradorite wand that we got from Chloe's. Happy birthday, Chloe's crystals. I'm emailing ear to We love you too, Chloe. At Chloe's Crystals, if you are looking for the greatest deals on earth, if you want the crazy Eddie of crystals, because Chloe's prices are insane, right? I don't know. I think Crazy Eddie's out of business now, but nonetheless. So yes, I lived on the East Corridor, so I know a Crazy Eddie, right? So yeah, she would be the Crazy Eddie of crystals in this case. But yeah, at Chloe's Crystals, check her out. Or you can type chloescrystals.com. You won't see anything until you do, but you will at one point. So keep typing it. One day you will see a crystal shop there, right? At Chloe's Crystals. And this will be backwards, but who personalizes their packages saying that, I hope this turns out to be one of the most amazing crystals you ever received. So I've never received anything like that from Amazon, nor from the crystal shop I work at. I mean, I may tell them that, but... All right, so today we're going to work with the... let's get the box. It's going to be backwards again, the Hero's Journey. But yeah, so we'll work with that today. It's not anybody specific. It's not a big name deck, but we are all on the Hero's Journey, so for sure. And today's mantra, right? So let's think of a mantra for today. And we're going to go with what I'm going to piggyback off of Victor from, if you were watching Truthwave this morning. So I stand in a better day than I did a year ago. Today's mantra, right? Generally speaking, is today better than it was a year ago? And if it was, and even if it's not where you want to be, can you see how better your day is? How much better your universe is, where you are standing, right? Is it better than it was a year ago? For me, oh, hell yeah. I don't know about you guys, but, or heaven, yeah. I should say. Good Dunning, blindly inspired from Germany. It's dinner time. It's almost dinner time over there. But yeah, so yeah, today's mantra is basically, I stand in a better space than I did a year ago. And can I see that? And can you see that? We'll do a channeling and talk about that later today. But Teresa Ford, Good Dunning. So can you stand in your frame and see where you were last year and see where you are today? And maybe if today is better than last year, then good for you. But so yeah, and I can tell you from absolute fact that and the external hasn't truly changed that much, but the internal has, and you've got to change the internal for Fatima. Good Dunnings, Fatima up in Toronto. So yeah, the inside has to change before the outside does, and so from a year till now, there's not much. I'm a pot light. and such, but there's not much change on the outside. But there's a humongous change on the inside, which will facilitate the outside change. So from your end, stand back for a second. Let's do that. Take a moment and stand back and remember last February there and see where you were last year. Are you in a better spot? Most of you, there's few may say no. But internally then, if your external may not be better, is your internal better, if nothing else? And that's the question there. Such a big shifting. Enjoy and embrace. Yes. All right. So, so we're going to work with the labradorite today. And today we will stand in our frame where we at and look back a year from now and see a year ago. We don't want to generally do that, but sometimes it's important to see the progress that you've made. If you don't see any external progress, there's not a lot of huge external, but if you don't see a lot of change in your like dollars and whatnot in your situation, but you can see change in yourself, it's important to acknowledge that, because we tend to look for the change in the external, but not within ourselves. And then when we're not, so then we start grounding into the lack that we see in our external and not thinking that we've made any change. That's not going to do anybody any good. So if you want to stand in where you're at, see the change inside yourself, and realize that sometimes the outside, when we are in the 3D, right? Or at least in the physical world, we could be in the 5D, 3D, but either way, whatever. It can take a while for the physical to catch up to the internal. And that's been my struggle lately. Chat numbers up and down. So yeah, keeping the internal versus the external, and seeing that the external hasn't changed much, while the internal is changing, and then allowing, not trying to negate that change so that I end up negating. What happens is we don't see the change. We start bringing things down inside ourselves, and we don't allow for the outside change to even occur. We kind of put a block in front of it by recognizing it's not there, and then grounding into it's not there. And if we do that, shuffling cards as we're talking here, as we do that, then yeah, if we're grounding into what's not there, then the universe is going to prove to us it's not there. So we don't want to do that. And I've been guilty of doing that lately. And so it's about letting go, right? And so we've got to let go into where we are. So let's work with the Hero's Journey cards and see what we get here. All right. We got these into 3, 1, 2, and 3. And of course, then we will do some energetic recalling of some fashion. But let's see what the energies are for today. What they're looking, what the universe, right, is looking for us to ground into. So we take the bottom card as the energetics that we want to achieve, and then the top 3, 1, 2, 3, as the cards that get the book out just in case, as the cards we are looking to gain that energetic from. All right, so let's see here. Today is, all right, and this will fit. A lot of us here are that way. I know there's a lot of us kind of nerdy. I guess you would consider just classic nerdy, 42 and whatnot nerdy. So yeah, there we go. So weird, and we are all weird, aren't we? What's normal anyways? Weird is the new cool. So it's saying to boldly express your uniqueness today. So you can see a ground into the card there. My needs backwards there. And 48 is the number. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 3. There you go. Card of movement, a card of action, right? 3. So boldly express your uniqueness today. Yes, be your awesome, weird self, right? So ground into your awesome, our awesome, nerdy selves, right? All right, so let's see what I was going to wear the Star Wars. Speaking of, it's been funny if I was wearing my Star Wars hoodie as I was about to wear it, and got the weird is the new cool. All right, so today's to get to weird, right? It says, and really all we have to do is be ourselves generally, but the dream sanctuary, attend to the simple things. Are we doing that? And this is energetics that we need to address today. So are we attending to the simple things in our universe? Are we being kind? Are we cleaning up behind ourselves, for example? Energetics in our house. Are we making our bed? That's a simple thing, but the energetics of making your bed make a tremendous difference in your day. Are you high-fiving yourself at the mirror? That's not me, that's Mel. But if you're at the mirror, are you high-fiving yourself in the dawning, right? When you go see yourself in the mirror, are you, good day. right? Are you hugging yourself when you're watching Truth Wave there, right? So these things, simple things, taking care of yourself, which we tend not to do. Sometimes we don't. We get into these phases where we don't take care of ourselves properly if we're in a down spot. But afterglow. So it's asking you to land gracefully. I don't know if anybody's had any big event or anything where they might have an afterglow. But either way, and for myself, in the kind of weird way, I am landing gracefully as all of my traumas and stuff start to fade out, and I start to kind of land into this new real state. I don't know, it's just weird, but like all of these energies shifting inside me, like a lot of the bigger drama and trauma and all that's just gone. I'm just at this peace, and so in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm landing gracefully, coming down from all of the traumas and such that I've been carrying for so many years. You may feel that as well. Big day of love tomorrow. Love yourselves today and embrace the extra love wave. Hi, Truth Wave Energy. All right, Teresa, I've seen you around a few times. So let me see if I can. There we go. All right. There we go. Teresa, you have a wrench. All right. Indy Castle of Dreams. So it's asking us to dream as well. Become altered by the color of your dreams. So it's asking in some ways to marry our uniqueness, right? And this is kind of a good spot where I'm at because financially, I'm in this space where either I look for bigger work or we dream something up, right? And so in your universe, where are you with that? And so let's recap here. So it's asking us to step into weird, and a lot of us who are in ascension are weird. We're not the general normal types. You're not going to see a lot of us normal, right? What's normal anyways these days, right? But I know like for like Ben and Victor, sci-fi and such, nerds, right? A lot of us are nerdy and but either way, guys, and that's not a negative, that's a compliment because we stand out, right? Dream sanctuary. So it's asking us to step into our dreams and also attend to these simple things in our universe, which a lot of us do not do. So make sure that we're checking off the list there, brushing our teeth, making our bed. If you're listening to Krista, not leaving your dirty clothes on your floor for feng shui purposes. Simple things, right? And actually, a lot of that, if you're in your dark night or whatnot, the simple things are sometimes the hardest things to do. And if it's just a matter of today, you got out of bed and you picked the clothes up off the floor, and that's as far as it got, and that's the simple thing you could do today, favor. Afterglow. So how are you landing? A lot of us, when it comes to coming out of our dark night, it is kind of like a landing, so to speak. It's like you're landing in a new body, a new vibration, a new space, a new universe. You see things differently. So there is this kind of afterglow effect, so to speak. I mean, it's not like the afterglow like if you were taking MDMA or something, but that afterglow effect of all that energy, all the trauma, there is a bit of a on that energy there. So ground into that however you can as you start to kind of come out of that high cortisol state. There is that in the castle and out of the survival mode. A lot of us have been I'm going to stop for a minute here, in that survival mode, right? And if we've been in survival mode long enough, then you're going to feel like you're landing as that cortisol starts to de-stress, comes out of your body as you start to kind of recenter. And a lot of it, because when you're in your darkness, when you're in on the other side there, you're in this heightened state, and you are always in this kind of heightened emotional and state. So you're always kind of on guard, like maybe like somebody at war, right? So you're always looking around. You're always looking where you're emotionally vulnerable and whatnot. And when all this kind of fades away, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You feel different. It's like you feel lighter. You feel totally different. And the light body is real. All right. In the castle of dreams. So what are you dreaming about first off? Maybe you're dreaming of a castle for yourself, right? All right. So it says become altered by the color of your dreams. So let your dreams color your universe is what it's asking you to do. Once you want to step into your uniqueness, note the last card then is allowing you to step into your dreams. So once you figure out that we're all unique, right? But some of us are way off what's norm, but we find our uniqueness in things that most people don't, right? But either way, step into that dream of whatever you're dreaming, whatever you for yourself, and then allow it to color your universe with your uniqueness. You can see where that flows together. All right. All right. So weird is the new cool. So stay weird, right? Be the weirdness that you are. How awesome is that? We're all living the hero's journey. There's not a soul here. So every movie, every musical, especially if you listen to my two girlfriends who musicals. I don't know why, but I've seen every musical on the planet, never had to pay for anything. Grateful beyond words. So yeah, I've seen tons of musicals here. So from your end, if you listen to, not that I'm a musical guy, but if you do listen, and they don't mind it either. But if you do listen to, I find them enjoyable. But you know what I mean. But if you listen to musical music in any aspect, like it's all about the hero's journey. Everything's about stepping over your energy, stepping into your light, and whatnot. And so from your universe, see your own hero's journey, right? Can you see where you're the hero of your own journey? And if you step into your uniqueness, your weirdness, right? And allow for yourself to be as uniquely weird as you want to be, right? Then yeah, you find you've become your own hero. And that's the whole point of all this is the heroes. You take control of your story, right? 33 level Mason. And let me see, is Henny in the chat? I don't see Henny because I wanted to mentioned she had been mentioning numbers here, but I don't see it. Maybe she'll watch the replay here. But we were talking about temperature in somewhere in Victor's channel somewhere, and I had put down that Fahrenheit. We were talking about Fahrenheit versus Celsius, and Fahrenheit was founded by a 33rd level. Fahrenheit was a 33 level Mason. Thus, if you want to understand temperature and why America is so wackaloon. And it's not wackaloon, but off the mark from the rest of the world, is that we don't use Celsius, right? We use Fahrenheit. And Fahrenheit, 33 is above freezing. 33 level Mason. 32, you are freezing. So anybody below a 33 level Mason, they're frozen. That's why we have 33. It's just around 33 degrees is above freezing. 32, you have been frozen out. So yeah, you can thank the Masons for our temperatures that make no sense. Just like you can thank the Roman Catholic Church for a calendar that has to have a leap day and a leap year and a leap second, right? Leap. Not leap year, but a leap second for sure. All right. So yeah, so that's crazy, isn't it? So yeah, think about it a second. Our temperature, everything in our universe is pretty arbitrary. Like our feet and inches, it's the size of the foot king of the size of the king of the foot of the king. Was that what it was? The average, the foot, king's foot, and so it's a foot long or something to that if I'm correct. But either way, yeah. So if you are going outside and it's 32 degrees, then well, you're just not worthy of being above freezing, right? So there you go. As we take our hero's journey here, let's see what we got in the chat. All right. 16 likes. Yeah, please hit the like button there. The more likes we get, if you don't like it, don't hit it. Don't lie to yourself. If you don't like the channel, then that's fine, or the show, then please do not hit the like button. But the more you guys do hit the like, the more this gets shared in Al Gore's rhythm. Al Gore doesn't have much rhythm. But we are at 803, guys. So, yeah, we gained a couple more subs since 800, and grateful for that. Grateful for all of you. And as we get to 1,000, then we get into bigger Al Gore rhythm. And we will start dancing a little larger here. But until then, we still play with the play in the kiddie pool, right? So to speak. But once you get over 1,000, then you have a separate algorithm. You get into the larger algorithm. You get promoted more and the like. So the channel is already open to, and I haven't set it up yet. I'm not going to monetize it for commercials because I think it's not fair that you miss half a channeling for a commercial. That's really, I love YouTube, but I don't appreciate that the YouTube does that on lives. So I will not be adding commercials to this channel, but I will open it up for memberships and super chats and such. So, yeah, so I have to do the application for that. And once we hit 1,000, then it kicks over. But so I have to do the application for that, and we'll do so at some point. But it would be a while before we hit 1,000. But either way, guys, we're at 803. Thank you all so much. It blows my mind. And as well, thank you. I don't know what else to say, but thank you. I think even the not like button helps, and it's as a child's mind, good, bad, attention. It's attention. I may be wrong. The not like button actually can take you out of. If you get more not likes, like a certain percentage of down votes, which generally you can't even see. If you get a percentage of down votes, then it actually ends up kicking you out of the algorithm. So yeah, if you got like 50 downvotes from somebody who just spam bots and whatnot, you would be kicked. That video most likely would be not show up very well. It wouldn't be shadow banned, but it wouldn't be very well algorithmically placed because the would kick it. It just knocks it out of the algorithm. I did here in high school all 4 years. My favorite was theater. All right. My grandfather was a Mason, and my grandma, and grandfather were in Eastern Star. All sorts of things like that. Oh wow. That's and so you probably know some interesting stuff there, Shelley. I have a friend of mine who was a colonel in the Air Force. He's not anymore. He retired, but he got out of the Air Force and now works some big boom company, but company that makes big booms. But nonetheless, he texted me once. This was in high school. He was friend from high school. When I had Facebook, which was before COVID, so I haven't had Facebook since 2019, early 2020. But yeah, so he Facebooked me one day and said I should join the Freemasons, and that would be a really good deal. I could hang out with them and learn all these new cool things. So yeah, no. He said it's an awesome fraternity, and honestly, from what I understand, unless you're like up into the 20s or what have you, and when you're down like a new guy, you wouldn't even know what's going on. You're just like, so it is like a fraternity, but shooting pool and just hanging out and whatnot. But yeah, once you get to the higher levels, then that's a different deal. But yeah, so Fahrenheit, 33 level Mason that created the Fahrenheit temperature scale that put everybody else who wasn't a 33 level Mason in the freezer. So there you go. Oh no, I never would. Not in a million years. It was like 2019 when he offered the invite of, hey, you should join the Freemasons, and I can be yours. He's in Boston, and I can sponsor you for that, even though you're in Colorado. I'm like, absolutely not. No, not in a million years. I just thought it was funny. And then literally, because he was the guy we would sit around with, right, in high school. No names, but we would sit around in high school and like take lots of LSD and such on the weekends, and we would all talk about how the system and this and that and the Freemason. We knew it was kind of, in high school with no internet and whatnot, you learn what you learn. But we knew what we thought we knew at the time, and we understood at least a little bit about the Freemasons and that. And so yeah, we'd make fun of all that stuff. And while you're tripping, the esoteric conversations you might have on LSD. And so yeah, from that standpoint, yeah, I will not be joining the Freemasons, but nonetheless. All right, so let's do some energetic cord cutting of some fashion. Or actually, we'll do a energetic recall here. We're going to let's recall all the energies. This is going to be different, but it's going to make sense. And this is what Saint Germain's kicking through. All the energies of any time we felt we put anybody down and stepped on their universe. Why? Because if we want to reframe our universe, we have to clear those energies first. If we want to create a better universe, we have to look at where we stomped on somebody else. We made fun of their universe. We made fun of them. When we're talking about their universe, we're just talking about them, their life, and what have you. Everybody's in their own physical universe, right? You can't see what I see out of my eyes. I mean, you can see the mountains if you stand in my patio, but you can't see it how I see it versus how you will see those mountains when you're looking at Rocky Mountain National Park from my patio. So yeah. We all see it and feel the world differently. So from that aspect, we're going to recall the energies. Anytime we put somebody else's universe down, anytime we did not give anybody else's universe, anybody else generally, respect or compassion, and that's really how this planet's going to function, has to function is with compassion. A lot of us in our darker days, we're not compassionate, might have been a little bit darker, a little bit not as nice, right? And so from that aspect, we're going to recall those energies. We're going to recall anytime that we put somebody down. Anytime I threw a guy in a trash can in high school, Don Size, God love you. And I did apologize to him on Facebook. But yeah, things like that, right? Anything that you've ever done that, we're not saying shame or guilt. There shouldn't be any, you should or shouldn't, but don't be living. It's not the best to live with shame or guilt. But anything that's sitting in your auric field that you might want to get rid of there. Anytime you might have punched somebody, you might have called somebody something that you regret. Like, I wish I could go back and apologize to that usher or what have you, or the clerk at the movies. You know, you might have missed the movie by a minute, or it might be stolen. You might have cussed them out. Whatever it was for you. There's lots of things that you could probably think of in your universe. But if we don't start recalling those energies back and trying to make some restitution to our universe, it makes it harder for us to move forward because we have all those broken energies sitting in our auric field. So secret orders are secret for a reason. It's a club and you are not in it. And if you are, you're also wrong. Well, right. Fahrenheit, 33 degrees. God love it. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to recall some energies here. So from our end and your end, then it's just an invocation. If you want to speak it, that's fine. If you just want to stay quiet, that is up to you. But these things are important as we leave energetic fragments, right? You are an energetic being. And just like anything else, you leave your fragment of you. You spew your energy wherever you go. You leave your energy out there, right? So if you are... you go to a restaurant, you get up from the chair, your energy is embedded in that chair. Somebody sits down, they're sitting into your energetic field. Do you realize that? So if you sit down in a public chair, a public bench, have a seat on the dentist's couch, right? While you're waiting for the dentist, you are absorbing all of the energy of everybody else sitting on that couch. And if you do not cleanse yourself, when you get up off that couch, you are the energies of everybody else who sat on that couch. You get on an airplane, that seat has not been cleaned and probably not been cleaned for 50 flights, 30 flights, and they don't steam clean those things generally ever. If they're vinyl, like they are now, then they spray it with Windex or something. They usually spray it with some sort of some sanitation, but the planes don't get cleaned until like 40 or 50 flights, generally speaking. So you sit down, you got 50 people's farts of energy sitting on top of you. And if you don't cleanse that, if their energies aren't cleansed, then you're going to get all their traumas and their dramas. They're going to mix into your field. Whether you feel them or not is dependent on the strength of you. So this is why we recall those things. We don't want to be those guys and gals walking around leaving our dirty energy on anybody else, right? Our old energy, our traumatic energy, leaving it in chairs and restaurants and door handles and whatnot, right? And you should see it in the crystal shop. People leave this giant crystal in the back of the store and people, but so everybody who goes is grabbing everybody else's energy. And I try to offer them Palo Santo, or as they're walking, would you like me to Palo Santo? And most people say no and look at me like I've lost my mind. So as beings who understand how we operate energetically, we're going to take responsibility for our own energy and start to work to clear up all of the garbage that we've laid out into, not garbage, but all the energies that we've laid out into the greater source field that we don't need to be carrying or allowing having others sit in. So we're going to recall all of those energies of times that we caused havoc in other people's universes. And I just watched a video prior to Good Dawning. I don't know how it showed up in my field, but this guy got angry, right? And he drove his he bought a used Subaru Outback, and he drove it right through the front door of the car dealership because he said it was a lemon. So that's what kind of energy how many times have you wanted to do something like that per se, but never did, right? Wanted to take the plate and slam it on the ground, right? But we never did. But for whatever we did that came close to that, we're going to recall those energies. So from your end, we're going to take a couple deep breaths. As we breathe in, we're going to breathe in peace. We're going to see ourselves as peaceful beings, not leaving residents of anger and frustration out into the universe. And as we breathe out, we're going to release anything within ourselves that is taking away our peace today, right? Because it's all about peace. If you're not stepping into peace, it's hard to create your universe if you're not at peace within yourself and in your universe. This is what it's all about. And so recalling these energies will help to bring peace not only to us. If there's somebody that you harmed out in the greater source field, $5 will tell you that I would guarantee it, that if you go back and reach back out to them a couple of weeks from now, if you are intent on doing this, right, and you follow the intent of what we're doing here and recalling those energies, I would bet that you're lightening up whatever you have created, whatever energies you did in their field, right? So if you cut somebody out, up and down, and told them to go stick it where the sun don't shine, and you recall those energies, if you were to contact them again, guarantee that would be a little bit lighter if you have the intent to clear that today. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in as we breathe in. We recall all of that. We're just peace. We breathe in peace. So breathe in. If there's anything in your field, any anger, frustration inside you now, release it and breathe out. Anything that's going to, we are the light. Anything that we do that can disrupt somebody else's auric field, breathe that out. So breathe in and release. We're going to release anything that can disrupt anybody else's auric field. Breathe in and breathe out. All right, now if you want to repeat after me or not, that's fine. I'm just being part of the invocation and saying for my highest good at the end is really all that you need to do. But yeah, so from our end here, we recall all of the energies that we have placed into the greater source field that are not loving. We recall all of the energies that we have replaced in the greater source field that has caused harm, that was meant to cause harm, that caused disruption, that was not nice, that was meant with malicious intent to others. We recall all those energies back to ourselves. We cleanse those energies with the violet flame, and we send love back to replace those energies into the source field. We hold each and every individual, business, or entity otherwise that we have placed negative energies, negative actions, and negative towards. We reverse that with love. We send them love, and we cleanse those energies again with the violet flame. We see ourselves as an agent of peace as we walk around in the universe. And as we step out into the greater source field, we intend to bring love and peace and unity. For our highest good, our highest joy, we say hallelujah and grateful. All right. And we're not churchy here. Hallelujah is one of the highest light words you can actually say. If you say it, it will raise your vibration. And yeah, so you're basically you're claiming joy to the universe, right? But I don't know if you don't feel lighter from that. I certainly do by releasing. And you can do this on the daily. If you find something that, oh crap, I have to go here, and I said something to them, then from your universe there, you can release that. Send it off to the greater source field. If you see them and you have an opportunity, you can always apologize as well. Do not think that just by sending this to the source field, it's totally clear. If there's something that you've done in your past, right, in your traumatic energy body, in your traumatic body, right, trauma, this is your dense trauma body. And if you hopefully it's not so dense anymore, but if you've released the denseness, but realized that you created trauma for others from your trauma body, from yourself, as you have the opportunity, it's always good to go out there and return that, to apologize, basically, to recall those energetics directly and say, look, I was an asshole and I was wrong. I was not in my frame. And so, yeah, I love you and that was not right. And you may not love them, but then, I did not act out of love, right? Whatever it is for you. So if you drive your car through a car dealership, a Mazda dealership, because you don't like your used car, yeah. Are you going to go back? I mean, obviously, you're going to have to make restitution. So there's your apology. But if you go in there and you just yelled at them, would you go back and apologize? That's the thing. It's about cleaning up our auric field. That's the question. If you have the opportunity to apologize, to make it right, watch what happens in your universe as we clean these things up. All right, and I think Saint Germain, somebody's going to come through. Now, I am a channel here, guys, so I see we have 24 in the chat, and thank you. So when I drop into channel here, I am an open channel, so do not, please, those of you who are new here, please like and subscribe, but do not freak out or anything. I don't do like Daniel Scranton will go in, or like Kelly Kolodny will do toning first. I don't do any of that. As an open channel, when I first channeled, they came right into my auric field, and I never released them. So here we go, guys. So I'm going to bring in Saint Germain, and we'll go from there, but... Good dawning and welcome with Saint Germain here, channeling through Josh for you, to you this good dawning. And we are grateful for you, please. You are seeing this, you are watching somebody channeling. So you are listening to Saint Germain energetically flowing through Josh as a channel for you, to you today. So we are grateful. Are you grateful is the question. And in your loving, living universe, today we are going to discuss exactly what Josh was discussing. Are you seeing how you are changing in your universe? That's the first question. Answer that for yourself. We cannot answer that for you. And if you are seeing where you are changing and becoming more love, then when you are not loving in your universe, and a lot of us were extreme trauma reactions, right? We would cuss at people, we would blow up, we would stomp, temper tantrums, what have you, right? A lot of us were heavily karmic individuals, right? And oh, here they come again. They are going to create chaos in my universe. Here this individual is coming and they are not going to be very loving or what have you. Or they are coming and they are going to be heavy energetics, right? So you are no longer that heavy energetics, hopefully, right? And you are seeing where you were heavy energetics, where you were not loving and living your universe in a loving and living manner. Is that correct? And if you are that soul, if you are coming from that space where you are reframing yourself into love, right? And you are not so loving in your past, or you are very karmic or very stuck in your traumas and your dramas, and you are throwing, what we do is we generally throw up our traumas, right, onto somebody else. We hand them over and say, now deal with me, and here are my traumas and my dramas, and now deal with them and me, right, and help me to find my frame through my traumas. A lot of us will actually reach out asking for those in our universe to help frame us up because we cannot find our frame within our traumas and our dramas. So if you are working to clear those, right, doing your work, sitting there, releasing your energetics, the sadness and such, to your source-loving self, right? Doing your journaling and realizing that most of the traumas and dramas were placed on you. And that's what you see when you wake up, right? That you aren't the trauma or the drama. They were laid upon you, right? They were given to you by your parents when you are a child, right? And so you accepted those, right? Okay, I will live like a traumatic child, right? Thank you for programming me like a broken trauma, right? And so in that aspect, you realize that as you start to clear those traumas and step into yourself as loving light source, it is now your responsibility, right, to go back and fix the dervishment that you created. Are you in understanding? It is not your job to have to like fix it emotionally for somebody, but it is your job, right, if possible, to acknowledge that to their universe, right, and to stand in frame and say, I was not in frame. And to understand and to apologize and say, look, this is not who I want to be anymore. And if this is who I was for you, and I created X, Y, R, Z in your universe, then for that, I apologize. And I stand in love today in my highest self and want to allow for this change in our relationship, right? Are you able to do that? Are you able to go back even to people you might have a good relationship now who have seen you through your traumas and say, oof, I'm on the other side here. I am grateful. I am so sorry I was that way. Can you understand? Can you see me for who I am now? And who I was then was not who I wanted to be, but it's who I was. And so, can you do that? Can you take yourself and see how you react, your trauma reactions, your trauma actions, and your not standing in frame, right? How that had reactions and how that had an effect on the greater source field. If you can see that for yourself, how you living in yourself as a traumatic individual created trauma in other lives, right? Created broken strands of energy, created broken universes, right? How many times did you try to X, Y, or Z? So you set a branch, a universe this way, and then you abandon it, right? And then you tried to do this, and you bring somebody into your field, and then you abandon the whole thing, and then this or that, right? So from your end, it's about cleaning it all up, and that's why we recalled all those energies, and you might feel a little bit lighter because leaving all of these anger here, and in 1995, you are angry there, and you never resolved it. You just walked on, right? So that anger is still hanging in the source field. This is why we are recalling and resolving these things today, right? It is a lifelong process. But as you, in the source field, you watching this right now, in your energetic field, in your own private toroidal field, right, that you are in, and you see the universe your way, right? Everybody's going to get in the car and put on a different song. Some will put on Sade, some might put on Tim McGraw, and somebody might put on Ace of Base, right? Everybody has different music taste, right? If you are listening to Ace of Base, you are old school as well, but nonetheless. But you are getting what we are saying, right? So everybody is in their own different universe. So when you are out there in your life, right, before you are waking up, were you conscious of how you are behaving? Probably not. Were you conscious of how you were treating others? Most likely, not always the case, but most likely not, right? You are living in a reactionary state. You are living based on you get poked and you go, ow. you get set on fire and you put it out. That's a reactionary state, right? So you are living in a reactionary state. Somebody said, ooh, I don't like you, and you went on defense, right? Or somebody looked at you and said, you are goofy, and then you got to get on your defense. And your ego was running your show, and now your ego stepped on a lot of your amigos, right? So how many of you ruined your universes? Destroyed friendships from your broken ego state, right? That is the question we are asking of you today. And can you repair that by stepping into your source frame and acknowledging that? That is the deeper question. Can you do so? If you cannot step into your source self, putting your ego to the left and realizing that your non-amigo ego might have destroyed some of your amigos in your universe, right? Some of your friendships. That, that is what this is about. That is why we are recalling those energies and stepping into our source-loving frame. Can you do that? That is a question only you can answer for yourself. So if you have that stolen library book, right, that you never returned, go take it back. You have the videotape from Blockbuster that never returned, enjoy your souvenir. If you punch somebody when you are in high school and you see them in the grocery store, apologize. That's what we are talking about here. If you have ripped off a company, it might be up to you to go back and say, I'm wrong. Here's your money back. What we are talking about is balancing out your universe into love, right? Stepping out, clearing out those traumas so that you can bring it into rebalance in love. And if you want to do that, then you will create a great universe for yourself. You are not required, of course, to go back in time and chase people down or any of that. If you live in positive intent now and create a positive for your universe now and live in love as the source that you are, and try not to create any more karmic waves behind you, right? Remember, we had discussed the wake of a boat, right? Do you want to be this massive choppy wake, or would you like to be a nice clean V, right? So what wake are you leaving behind you now, right? Are you leaving a mess? Are you having to go back and clean up your universe on a daily basis? Are you standing in your source frame, moving forward with love? We are Archangel Raphael. Well, not really anymore. Saint Germain. And we have channeled. And we are grateful for all of you. So the question you have to ask yourself then is, are you creating more trauma as you go through your universe for other people? No? Good. Are you creating more drama? Hopefully not, right? And are you, as you have an opportunity, right? We are not saying you have to go back in space or drive back to your hometown and look people up or any of that. By living in love today, you are fixing the energies that you had put out when you are broken, right? When you are in your traumas, dervishing around in your universe. So be the love today that you couldn't be before as amends for those whom you might have treated like garbage, right? Are you seeing that? And be the love otherwise, because you are sauce. You are the love. And if you stand in that frame, then you will understand who and what you are. Are you seeing that? Releasing transmission. Woo. All right. So Saint Germain there with standing in your frame as source. And give me a moment, guys. Energy. And that's the kind of clear. Lots of energy gets pushed through. And so, yeah, I used to burp it out. Now I just feel it build up in my crown chakra. And then I just have to like... But yeah, no, we never asked Saint Germain to leave. He's part of the frame, part of my field now. And so they all are. And so if I want to rechannel him, just instantaneous start channeling again. It's instantaneous. But from your end there, yeah, if you have the opportunity from Saint Germain here to apologize, like if you run into somebody at the grocery store, oh crap, that was my high school. Oh crap, dude, I know it's been like 40 years, but I got to get this off my chest. You know, that sort of thing. Cheers. That's what we're talking about here. Yeah, and if you find something that you need to recall energetically, like, oh crap, did I really do that? I'm going to recall it, clear it. You do not need to hold these things into your frame. You are now hopefully headed towards, if you're not already, version 2.0 of yourself, right? So if you're version 2.0, then you have new software, right? That's the whole point. We are running under new software, under new programming, right? And so we need to clear out the old programming. I want a big, huge bird in one life here. I can read. English is good. I was a big, huge bird in one life. Yeah. most of us were everything at some point. Just imagine the universe when you were a rock, right? But yeah, so we've all been rocks, birds, whatever your spirit animal is. What, and if you want to put it in the chat, that's generally what you've been, and could also be what's mirroring you on planet Earth. Keep in mind that your energy is larger than just you are, and that you might be here in the same energy that's you, which is source, anyways. But that same ball of energy, clump of energy, right? That's you, could also be divided up and be a bird flying around, an elephant on the other side of the planet. So you go to Africa, right? This is where it gets goofy. You could be drawn to go to Africa and go to this elephant sanctuary, and then this one elephant comes running up to you, right? This elephant sanctuary that you have no idea that you had to go to, that you got this download to go to. And this elephant comes running up to you, right? Could be you running up to yourself. Exactly. Never really know. Where it gets goofy. All right. So dragons keep coming. Oh, Barefoot Jamie 143. Nice name. Yeah. So if you get dragons coming to you, I have 3 in my auric field. 3. That's 2. 3. Here we go. In my auric field, ground into them. Invite them into your universe. Ask them. Say hello. And if you go on my community page and scroll down, you have to scroll a little bit. There's a physical picture of one of my dragons in the sky. So the dragons are about as real as they're real, but I don't know. But yeah, exactly. You bet if you tell any layperson that, anybody who's not this, they'll look at you like you've lost your ever-loving mind, unless you talk about Komodo dragons, right? All right. So let's work with. We have the labradorite. Labradorite is. I wrote down the little cheat sheet here. But I mean, labradorite. Like if you watch Lee Harris, he will hold this, not this, but a piece of raw labradorite in his hand as he channels. Usually I have the sodalite pillar in front of me for grounding into my throat chakra. Not as a crutch. It's not necessary. I didn't use it until recently. When I was at the park in the summer, we didn't have the sodalite pillar here, but, which we will get back to at some point. Once it warms up, it's -9 right now, so -8. All right, so we're going to do labradorite, obviously for in psychic abilities for sure. So you can use this also for protection and grounding. This will work to activate your third eye. As I tap it to my third eye, I can feel it as I have a semi-activated third eye. Connect, and your third eye is always gaining activation. So once it's activated in some form or fashion, it's a forever deal to get more open. But connect. This will definitely help you connect to the astral. If you want to sleep with, if you want to put labradorite in your pillowcase, if you want to get to the astral at night, lepidorite if you need to sleep. Take a piece of like a blade of lepidorite for sleeping itself, but for getting into the astral, get a piece of from Christy or Chloe at Chloe's Crystals. Get a piece of labradorite. There we go, from Chloe, and put it under your pillow. Or zip it in your pillow or in your pillowcase at night, and it'll help you to reach the astral a little bit. If you have to be on those energetics, so and you also have to believe, right? If you don't believe in it, it's not going to work. Your disbelief, your negative energies can block out a lot of what really is and energetics on this planet. So if you don't believe that sources can interfere in your universe or that good can happen, and it won't happen. Source won't interfere because source, that's your belief. So we're not going to step over that. All right. And of course, transformation and change. So we're all looking for change and transformation. And that's one of the reasons why we called those energies today is to, the only way to really change is to clear out the past. And so we're going to do even more. We're going to take some inventories as well of ourselves. If you're down with that, we were not Alcoholics Anonymous here, like taking a greater inventory of ourselves. The steps, but a lot of those steps there are actually pretty helpful if you've ever read through them or know anybody who's been through that program. So yeah, we're going to do some inventory because we're like businesses, right? Anybody, you're like an energetic business, right? And if you don't know where you're energetically standing, then if you don't know where you're energetically vibrating and what your positives and what then it's not going to want to move forward. It's like any business takes a greater inventory of itself. So. Little bits of homework there. And of course, we never did ground into our goals. So at the end, tomorrow, we will knock off our second of our easy goals. Mine was to get more sleep, and I am doing so. I got like 8 hours, 7 hours of sleep last night versus like 3 or 4 that I can get. So I'm getting more sleep for sure. So that helped. K-Dye, it's funny, as never really had a few anything as went on current as a color, never chose a favorite friend. So kind of interested to see it carry with age. It makes no sense. No favorites as yet. It's all amazing. And then I have no idea, Neil. Okay, so all right. So then you walk into I makes. All right. So when you're reading a chat there and get right, so let's work on the labradorite, and again, Chloe at the bottom of the chat there. Chloe's crystals at Chloe's crystals at Chloe's crystals. There we go. On YouTube. And you can go to my channel as well and find the live from this weekend. And so let's work with the labradorite. And of course, energetics works only with your permission. So grateful that you're here. If you choose to drop off, that's fine. But by staying on the channel, then is your permission. But we never want to just throw energetics at anybody without their approval. Ever. You don't even want to sit there and start throwing balls of energy at somebody else, or maybe there's somebody you're interested in, so you start sending waves of love. You really don't want to start sending energetics like purposefully like that, aiming energetics at people without their true permission. That's not it's not really cool to energetically invade somebody's field like that. But so yeah, so let's work with the labradorite. This one's a lot easier to hold as well. We'll bring this a little closer. There we go. All right. All right, Barefoot. You are now a standard moderator. We're all family. We don't discriminate. And we're all the same. We're all the same energy anyways, right? I am you as you are me as we are all together. We need music for this. So eventually I got to get my laptop. I could hook up my... Chloe and Blindly Inspired are doing live this Saturday to explore crystals and feng shui. So yeah, that's I will be there as well. Pop in Saturday at 5 o'clock. I don't have a DoorDash. But yeah. So from your end, you may feel this in your third eye, and we're going to do some third eye tapping here. So here we go. Get ready for some third eye tapping. Labradorite is the stone that will, if you want to break open your third eye, it is labradorite. All right, 1, 2. So we're going to start tapping. If you are aligned and your third eye is anywhere awake, you might feel this. Third eye is something that's like a dervish within itself. It comes online. It takes its time, so you get little effects until it blows open. But and contrary to popular belief, you do not need a yogi or some big maraha to like tap your to no. That wouldn't be. That's not fair to everybody who's like. Imagine if you're in China, right? You wouldn't be able to get to some yogi in India to tap your third eye. It's not. No, you don't need that. If you've ever heard that before. All right. So if you are looking to enhance your psychic and creative abilities at the same time, then use labradorite. If you are looking to automatically write, then use labradorite. Bring it out with you when you are doing your automatic writing. If you're looking to channel, and I will be taking, speaking of channeling, then use labradorite. I'll be taking the Akashic Records class from Dragonfly Crystal Val this weekend. And there's an opening there. It's $49 if you want to join us. I think Millie's in it. Rooted Willow is in it as well. And so, yeah, and we're going to set up a Zoom. And some a lot of you guys maybe if you want to be our Guinness pigs, so to speak, you can email me at mrfloydchannelings with an S at gmail.com. If you want a guinea pig, no charge, of course. With us as practice, yeah, let us know. And you can jump on a Zoom and we can try to we can see what we can do, right? I mean, we can Akashic you, right? So yeah, well, we're gonna need practice. So guys, this. So if you want a free practice reading, send me an email. I'll get you on the list. But yeah, I had actually picked up in somebody else's field a few things, and then it got confirmed by Viviani. So that's what drove me into the class. Is that I was seeing somebody else's Akashic. And as you clear yourselves and clear like the negative, not negative, but the heavier energies, like what we did today, as you lighten up your field, and all of these things, yelling at somebody, dense to the field, cussing somebody out, you put density to your field. You do realize that, right? So punch somebody in the head, density around your head, right? You just block off your field. You get an energetic return. So if you do something heavy on somebody, or if you say something karmic, you get an energetic return in your field. You do realize that. And so by releasing all of that, it allows for you flow more, right? You're open. So if you punch somebody in the head and then in high school and then you clear it energetically, even if you can't see the person, then that falls away, right? And then now you have open space to receive more light energy because you've dropped some darkness out of your field. That's the point. But until then, you've been carrying all that density, that blockage of, oh, I punched X, Y, or Z in the head, and now I got it. And so that energy blocked your field. And until you release it, it's going to stay blocked. All right. So eventually we'll figure out how to get music with this. Doing it on my cell phone, I can't produce music as well at the same time. But all right, musical interlude. Do 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 do. All right, do 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 do. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Do 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 do. All right, let's seal this up. All right. So your job today, if you are to accept it or not, because this works with your third eye, is to do some tapping on the third eye. So join me. Just a quick second here, and then we're going to close this out with a group hug. But all right, so tapping. If you're understanding what tapping is, tapping. We're only going to tap though on our third eye because it is right now primed, right? So are you ready? So follow me, and the 1, 2, 3. Just tap. Literally, take your finger and join me. Seriously, we're going to do 15 taps on our third eye. So ready? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And if you continue to do that, just for time, but if you continue to do that, you might feel something. And you are tapping into your third eye. You are helping to awaken your third eye. And if your third eye is already even somewhat awake, you will feel that as especially now, like you will feel a vibration right there, as I do. Like you are still tapping your forehead, but not specifically. So there we go. As I listen to Goodbye Stranger by Supertramp on the car. Oh, good song. I love Supertramp. As a matter of fact, here's a story for you. My mother got remarried, right? Her second husband, Fred. Fred's first wife. My mother got remarried to Fred, right? So Fred is divorced, right? So Fred's first wife had an affair. Supertramp came to Cleveland, right? And she met Mr. Sue. I forget what the lead singer of Supertramp is, but she ended up having an affair with the lead singer of Supertramp. So, and I know Fred's second wife pretty well. We're kind of friends, but yeah. So anyway, so the only reason why my mother and Fred got together is because of Supertramp. So yeah, so Fred. You know somebody who had an affair with the lead singer of Supertramp. It caused her divorce, but nonetheless, there we go. So goodbye, stranger, for her, for sure. But yeah, so Andrea was her name. But so yeah, she craziness, right? But so yeah, you can ask her about it. But she's in Cleveland as well. But crazy. All right, so yeah, so let's go ahead and close out today with a group, some Josh hugs. But yeah, so left arm up, right arm up, and we're gonna set them on the shoulders of the people around us here. So everybody circle up and lean forward, and take your left arm, right arm, and put it on their shoulders, and take a deep breath. Breathe in all awesomeness. Breathe out anything that's stale in your frame. One more breath, and breathe out. All right, so we send love through our left arm. So take your left arm and send love through that left arm. You may feel that as we rotate it around clockwise through our circle here. So we are sending love from our left arm, and you'll receive it back in through your right arm, and keep sending that around. And so all of our love is circulating around this circle right now. And of course, in energetics works, whether we are physically circled up or we are intentionally doing so through the interweb, right? All right. So we see each other in the highest loving light today. We wish Chloe an amazing, amazing, amazing day after birthday on her first day of her new solar return around the sun. And we are grateful for her amazing crystals. We see Suzette and her mother sleeping through the night, and Suzette not having to get up to turn back the heat back on or plug the refrigerator back in. We also see Suzette with respite care. Everybody take a moment and see Suzette walking out of the house with her mother in the house, just once, right? And see her getting in the car and driving away with peace in her heart. We're not saying abandoning her mother. We're just saying that she has respite care. We see Lindsay parking her car and opening the door and running to her children for the first time, hugging them. We see Rick in perfect health, healed, and running a marathon. There we go, right? I don't know if you could run a marathon or not, but we see Rick healed. And we see all of those out there. We see Henny getting up and taking a swift walk. And we see all of those out there with any medical issue healed and in your golden, loving, healed body. We see the world healed. We see all of those out there with housing insecurities, with four walls. We see those with empty fridges and pantry with food, and we see those with no water, with access to clean water. We see those out there without hugs being hugged, and we see the Mother Gaia clean and cleansed with no forever chemicals or plastics. We see the skies not looking like a tic-tac-toe board, and we see blue and peace. We see those out there fighting the wars, putting down their weapons and shaking the hands of those they would have just shot. And we see the governments of the world sitting around a larger table, discussing their differences in peace and love. We see Earth and Mother Gaia inner shiniest, and we see all love, peace, and joy for today. For our highest good. Hallelujah, and so let it be. All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around through that. It changes every day. It's kind of just on the fly. Much love and favor to all. And Suzette, favor to you. We see you with respite care. We see your mother in a nursing home, if possible. And we see you living your amazing living universe. Free to do what you choose. Lindsay, take those kids out for dinner. We see that. We see your universe shifting. All of you guys. Starts by releasing the past. It starts by dropping the heaviness. It starts by releasing all of the garbage that we put out into the universe. That's how it starts. One day at a time, right? All right, guys, I love you. Remember, everything you do creates your loving, living universe. And if you're still in your dark night of the soul, as you release your darkness to your highest self and step into your loving, living self, your cells vibrate faster. They spread out. Your body holds more light. and it makes it easier for you to create your loving, living universe. Stay awesome because you are. I love you. I will see you all in the next. Every day as amazing as you are, guys. Thank you.